We go in. There, right. I'm leaving teaching. Not only am I leaving teaching, I'm also leaving Dubai. So let's talk about it. In theory, this video should be quite a sad video and things like that, but I don't want that to be the theme of this video. In many ways, this video is perhaps one of the most exciting updates that I've shared on this channel for a long time. But you guys would potentially want me to come on here and say that, you know, I hate Dubai, I hate teaching, and that would definitely drive retention and views and clicks and things like that. But actually, I'm going to tell you from the offset, that's not what this video is going to be about. Let's rewind the clock to kind of help build the story, because you deserve a really good explanation, because you've been around for quite a while now, following and paying attention to all the bits and pieces that I create on this page. So around this time last year, I created a very similar video to this saying that I quit teaching and then decided to go back on my decision. And the reason I decided to go back on my decision was that my actions from someone who would quit teaching didn't really line up with the actions of someone who would quit, because I wasn't really working on all the different projects that I should be doing. I initially decided that I wanted to leave teaching to give me a little bit more time for YouTube and things like that. But then I started to decide that actually, it's more my time management, and that's certainly been true. I feel like this year I've been a little bit better with my time management. I've not been amazingly consistent with this channel, but I have been a little bit more so, and as a result you guys have shared content and recommended and all those different bits and pieces. So why this year? Why have I decided that this year is going to be the year to leave? Because it wasn't last year and I went back on my decision. Well, this year has been, contrary to what you might think, actually one of the best years of teaching of my life. I've been absolutely blessed with the most fantastic class. All the children have been able to work together really nicely. Got a really nice community behind me. Working in a new team in year 4, which I was a little bit nervous about initially, has actually worked out to be really good. It's a great team and all those things have been fantastic. So that doesn't kind of stop some feelings that I've had in the back of my head. So throughout this year, I've definitely had times where I've had amazing days and then had these ideas kind of niggle in the back of my head. And, you know, I've been reading certain books and certain things that I'm going to share in a bit. This idea has niggled in the back of my head. I think what happens as a teacher, I think generally as any profession, you get ideas of different things that you could do, especially with YouTube and being a creator, you get all these different ideas and you're very aware of the amount of time that you have. So with some ideas, whether it's creating courses, doing different bits of content, you put ideas on shelves. And one of the ideas that I've had for the longest amount of time is to go traveling. That's an idea that I've put on a shelf because I've wanted to go and travel for a long period of time. Obviously, as a teacher though, that's not allowed. You do get some amazing holidays, don't get me wrong, but the ability to go and travel for an extended period of time has always been quite limited. And that's something that I'm aware of more and more. Throughout this year, I've read a range of different books. One of the books was a book called 4,000 Weeks. And 4,000 Weeks is a book title that kind of outlines, it kind of speaks for itself. 4,000 weeks is the average life expectancy of a human. Now, if you think about it, we actually don't get that long on this planet. By the time you leave school, that's like 1,000 weeks. Your healthiest years are around 2,000 weeks, because you're going to say the other 1,000 weeks are not so healthy when you retire. And of those 2,000 weeks, immediately, you know, by the time you're thinking about eating, sleeping, food preparation, that's another 1,000 weeks. That's like half of your life. So you've got like 1,000 weeks if you're lucky. You're going to work for most of those, and I've become increasingly aware of how limited my time on this planet is, especially without children. And the types of travel that I'll be able to do with children is quite different to the type of travel I'll be doing without. Now, for me, I'm pretty eager to start a family, but before I do that, I'd love to go and do some extended travel. So that's been the idea. That's the idea that I've had on the shelf and staring at me, niggling away, and I've kind of got that off the shelf, and I've decided that, yeah, I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to travel for an extended period of time, but unfortunately that means that to be able to do that, I need to leave teaching and then also leave Dubai. So I'm going to be leaving at the end of this year in literally like a month, going back to the UK, getting married to my fiance, and we're going to go on an extended honeymoon around South America. Will I continue teaching? I hope so. I hope I continue teaching, but is it going to be something that I immediately go into as soon as I go back to the UK? I don't know. And for me, this is an extremely scary period of my life, but it's also one that's quite exciting. It's quite funny, when you start to think about leaving teaching, there's like all these different carrots that get dangled in front of you. For example, when I handed in my resignation, there were different things, like different positions that would open up in my school, different opportunities that would come up here in Dubai that would make me think like, right, maybe I should stay. Because then it makes it quite hard to make that risk. So I've also started to read this book called The 4-Hour Work Week. And there's bits in that book that are fantastic. There's other bits that aren't not so, but one that really stood out to me was the idea of mini retirement. And that kind of aligns with the idea of going and traveling and seeing parts of the world that I just definitely wouldn't with children. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. And I think that's really true for me in Dubai. I've been privileged that here in Dubai, it's extremely comfortable. I've got a great wage, I've got a great package, I've got a brilliant life. I'm not gonna lie, like I said, this year has definitely not been an overly challenging one, and I've had a great class and things like that. But I definitely feel like I keep repeating the same year, getting up early in the morning, having a long Friday, and then that challenge starts to sink in after a while. And then when you get to the half term, it's like, yeah, I can go somewhere. Alongside the potentially starting to go, I don't know, supply teaching and things like that, one thing I'd love to do is to build more on this. And I've said that in the last video, and I feel like I'm doing it. But then hopefully the way that I will look at life and the way that life is would be a little bit different going forward. The other quote as well is, the biggest difference between money and time, you always know how much money you have, but you never know how much time you have. And I think that goes without saying, that I know that I have X amount of money in a bank. However, time that I have on this planet and the time that my family has on this planet as well is something that I guess you just never really know, and it's extremely scary. But if I just keep reliving the same year over and over, I guess I won't get to explore those different ideas, and I risk 20 years time getting to an age and going, maybe I should have explored some of those things. So that's the plan. Are there other reasons that I'm leaving Dubai, and pros and cons and things like that? Perhaps, but those aren't things that I'll share for a while, because for now the focus is that travel and marriage and all of those exciting things going forwards. And I hope that you're able to join me on that journey. I really do. I've got lots of different exciting travel-y bits coming up, but alongside that, sharing lots of ed tech and hopefully being able to maximize teachers' impact with minimal resources. That's going to be the aim of this channel going forward, to really help you guys to get into a similar position to what I have, if that is your goal. I hope you've enjoyed the videos. I hope you've enjoyed all the different bits and pieces that I've created over the last few months or so. Honestly, this is, despite doing this for like 5 years or so, this is really just the start of something extremely exciting, and I can't wait for you to join me. As I edit this video, some people might question, why do you still support teachers with the process of moving to Dubai if you're leaving yourself? And I'm hoping that the message in this video comes across that Dubai has absolutely transformed my life, and I do want to transform yours too if you are considering following the similar journey of moving to the UAE. If you are, make sure you go and check out my guide in my website, teachtraveltriumph.com. This has helped over 2,000 teachers with the process of getting jobs out here, and eventually the moving to Dubai guide has helped with that process too. So if you are interested in that process, check this out, because it will absolutely help you. And I'm just hoping that the message of me moving on to different things comes through, and who knows, maybe I'll actually use this guide to come back in the future too.